just made myself the best hamburger and I'm very proud. But let's get into the birds, which is set along the California coast and starts in San Francisco. Oh, wait, do I have showtime? Oh, I got showtime. I didn't even know time. My cable high as hell, so I should know. She's getting a minor bird. And then this guy comes in. He kind of cute. I can't tell if they know each other or not. I think they do, but I can't remember. But he's getting lovebirds for his niece. And so she acting like she working at this pet store, but she don't work there. So, child, she really trying to make him think she work at this bird shop, and he asking her all these questions he clearly knows the answer to, and she's just trying to flub along. She trying to pull a bird out for him, gonna end up getting pecked for her troubles. So she gets the bird out, it flies around the room, he's the one able to catch it. And he's like, okay, Melanie, it's been real. And she's like, how'd you know my name? So he apparently saw this heifer in court when she broke a plate glass window, and he don't like practical jokers. He's a butt. So she want to know who this louse is, so she take his license plate down. Not stalkery at all. I mean, the stunts we used to have to pull to try to keep track of people, I mean, we can't do that now, but also everybody just puts their business in the street. So she go on and order them lovebirds, because she's like, I'ma find your butt. So she go to drop off the birds at his house and finds out from a nosy neighbor he's at Bodega Bay for the weekend, which is a very San Francisco thing to do. Everybody goes away for the weekend here. I'm loving her mink. Oh, I just realized this is a judgmental sissy. The way he look at her up and down, I'm going away too. Yeah, we know you're taking your bare butt to River Run. So she ain't got nothing better to do, so she gets in her car, puts her top down, and drives off to Bodega Bay. I will say this shot of the Pacific Coast Highway is beautiful. I have to drive up that while I'm here. So she gets to Bodega Bay, and it's real small, looks like an old mining town, but I guess it's fishing. But old buildings, general store / post office, that kind of a tea. Her little convertible cute. So she go to the general store and he tell her all their business. Oh yeah, he ain't married, it's just the mama and the 2 kids, and they right over there. You see that white house? I mean, just telling them right where he lived. Don't know this woman from Adam's house cat. And she didn't even know he had a wife. You drove 120 miles and bought birds for some fool that could have been married? Child, desperate times, I guess. So he tell her how to get there, and she's like, he gonna see me coming up the main road. I want to surprise him. So he said, well, just rent a boat and go across the dock. You could pull right up to their dock. I've always wanted a house with a dock. So the general store guy says, I don't know the little girl name, but here, go by this teacher's house and pester her in the middle of the weekend. People just dropping by each other's houses like you're expecting guests. Today it's like, don't even call me, text me. Show up at my house. The fuck? Imagine if people just dropped by your house. Does that still happen? So she go by the school teacher's house to get this little heifer name. So the teacher's like, what you want with this little heifer? Her name Kathy. You here for that brother. That's what you here for. So she gets in the boat and heads across the bay. And in peak white woman fashion, just gets off the boat, walks up in their house to leave the present. But still, you just walking in houses of people you don't know? Because you see everybody's out in the barn? But at least this barn is finished, unlike Cabrice and Cabrice's. So she gets back in the boat. And then she just watching, and she see the guy go back from the barn to the house, and he come out and he looking, and she see him, and he's like, there's somebody on a boat out there. So she trying to get the motor started, and he go grab some binoculars. But he spot the heifer and go to get in his car, and he gonna meet her across the bay. However, while she's crossing, a bird pecks that head, and she's like, damn, I'm bleeding. So he's being her knight in shining cable knit sweater as he helps her out the boat. So they head to the seafood restaurant to get her patched up. So she tell him, oh yeah, I'm in town visiting my friend, the school teacher, Annie Hayworth. And he's like, oh, I think they had a pass. She's like, I didn't just come up to deliver the lovebirds. Don't think you that special. But she is. He's like, girl, I know you came up here to see me. And you went through all the trouble of finding out where I lived and how to get here. She said, I just called my pappy's newspaper, honey. You light work. I don't like you. But now in come Mitch's overbearing mama. She looking at him like he her man. So he invites her to dinner and she's like, well, you could pick me up at Annie's, but I gotta check with her because she might have made dinner plans for us. So she go back to the teacher's and the teacher has a room for rent sign and she's like, could I have it for the night so I can continue my lies? So later that night, she go on over to their house for din-din. The little girl thank her for the lovebirds, but the mama looking at her like she gonna steal her man/son. A very Mary Crosby grandfather fucker-tea. So they having problems with their chickens not eating, and the mama gonna call the feed store saying the food ain't good. The chickens have a bloodlust. But you'll find out. Feed store guy says ain't nobody's chickens eating. So it might be a bird flu. So while the sister's begging her to come to her little birthday party tomorrow in the kitchen, mama grilling her son about who's this hussy. The mama like, that heifer always in the newspaper. I heard about her. But hey, if you like it, I love it. After dinner, he says, I'd love to see you in San Francisco. And she tell him, well, look, just so you know, I was pushed in the fountain. I wasn't skinny dipping in the Trevi. A competitor of my father put that story out. He says, so you really know the school teacher? No. Not at all? No. So you was lying? Well, I wanted the dick. So she get back to the teacher's house and they gonna have a little nightcap and she says, so you meet the mama or you want to talk about something else? Let's talk about something else. I could tell it didn't go that well. So the school marm says, you know, I ended up moving here because of Mitch and I ain't got nothing to show for it but a room for rent and a tended to garden. Ain't got orgasm to first though. Honestly, she's giving me a lesbian tea. Rob Dixon, but more feminine. So this heifer talks about how, you know, the mama just kind of got in the way of their relationship and she's like, the mama ain't bad, she just don't want to be abandoned. However, I moved out here because, you know, we friends and I like to be near him. The dick that good, it got you out in Bodega Bay. Okay, girl. I mean, they had straight men in San Francisco back then. You could have found somebody else. Just wasting your time. But child, speak of the devil, Mitch done called. So he begged her to come to Kathy's little party tomorrow, and she's like, oh, all right. Meanwhile, the school mom's just smoking, just have fun with my man. Girl, you need to get you a woman. However, as they getting ready for bed, they hear a crash, and they go to the door, and a seagull ran into the door and killed itself. So the next day, she go on to the party, and they walk up this hill overlooking the house and the beautiful bay. So he trying to get her to stay for dinner, and she's like, I gotta get back to Sissy Frissy. And he's like, what do you have to do? And she said, well, you know, I got a little job on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm taking classes, you know. I got a little lost in Rome. It sounds like she was drunk and high over there, and now she's trying to get her shit together. So they come back down the hill from their little flirt session. The mom and the teacher looking at each other like, this hussy. But just then, a bird attacks the birthday girl who got a blindfold on. They doing some type of Marco Polo shit. I love Marco Polo. But girl, it was one seagull attacking and then suddenly the whole flock getting everybody popping balloons. The little heifer done fell. Okay, now we all know what seagulls sound like. Why does this sound like cats? It's all this meow, meow. That's not what birds sound like. A chirp and a tweet, please. A chirp and a tweet. So once they get the kids inside, the birds done flown off and they like, what is going on with the birds? Okay, and so my neighbors are having a loud party, so we've switched to this mic, so hopefully it won't pick up any copywritten materials. I damn near want to invite myself over because I'm like, if I have to hear the music, I should be at the party. So we done finished dinner now and the mama trying to rush the hussy off. The guy's trying to get her to stay, but before anything can even happen, a whole bunch of finches fly down the chimney into the room attacking everybody. Girl, them birds tore that living room up. They finally went on out the window, but they sure did leave a mess. So they call the vet over and he's like, yep, that's a finch or a sparrow, whatever it was. And they like, the birds have been attacking. And the guy's like, birds don't attack. Yeah, they do. And of course, the hussy says, well, I'm going to stay the night now. Mm-hmm. Go on and get you some dick, girl. That was the first hour of the movie. You may as well get some dick for your troubles. So the mama go run some errands and she gonna drop by that feed store again. So his store is next to his house, so she go in his house, because that's what these people do, just go in each other's houses. And she sees his house torn up like her house was. All the cups is broken. She sees gulls and crows just dead in the bedroom. They just smashed through the windows. And she look around the bedroom, then she see him dead. His eyes just pecked out. She running and screaming. It was pretty gruesome. She don't even tell the guy outside what happened. She just get in her car and drive off and left her purse. So she get home and her son's like, what's wrong? She said, the feed store man, the birds done got him. So the mama worried about the daughter at school because she's like, them birds could break those windows. The mama having a little bit of a breakdown. She's like, dang, I done lost my husband. Now the birds is acting crazy. So Melanie like, okay, let me go get this girl from the school for you so you can stop whining about being left alone. Because, girl, you just need a new friend circle. You in too boring of a town. Move to Frisco with them. So this heifer gets to the school and the school mom's like, hold on a minute, we doing our little musical class and the kids is singing some yakety song. And so the heifer goes to wait on the bench outside. But as she's waiting, she starts to see crows collecting on the jungle gym. And this is back when it was just straight up iron shit on the playground. I'm like, oh Lord, that thing looked painful. Looks like broken teeth. So she run in and is like, yeah, you don't want to take the kids out to recess because there's a bunch of birds out there and they're getting ready to attack. So instead of keeping the kids in school, they're going to be like, look, we going to do a fire drill and y'all got to be quiet until I tell you to run. Them birds going to eat them babies. Miss Hayward, you ain't shit. The dumbest teacher I know. Let's just bring them outside and tell them to run. The second them kids got outside, you hear all these damn shoes. The kids start screaming because the birds come over. Y'all was dumb. You couldn't have put nothing over them windows. Girl, one little heifer trip and break her glasses. Kathy and Melanie gotta go back for her. This was a dumbass plan. So she get to the diner and call her pappy and tell him about the bird attack. So everybody in the restaurant talking about they bird attacks, and then some woman's like, keep it down, you're scaring the children. The children need to be scared. Shoot, they school got attacked. So now Mitch gets to the restaurant and he's like, yeah, that feed store guy got killed by birds last night too. So as they're trying to figure out what to do, they see a bird attacking a guy at a gas station. And they run over to help. But this fool was smoking while he was pumping gas, so not only is he attacked by birds, but the whole station goes up in flames. And then the fire gets them damn meowing seagulls coming at him. So Melanie's dumb butt ends up trapped in a phone booth. So of course, the guy gotta come save her from this phone booth because she just ain't able to get out on her own. It's just, oh, weak white woman, oh. It's like, girl, you in the phone booth, ain't nothing hitting you, but you, oh. They get back to the restaurant, child. Everybody's hiding in the hallway away from the windows. Oh my God. So the mom who was like, y'all are scaring the children, she says, when you got here, they said all of this started. I think you're evil. Evil! Child, Melanie slapped that ass. And then, they haven't needed to be slapped. So the gulls leave and they head off to get their little heifer. But child, they get to Annie's and she out in the front yard just dead. Just no eye, But the little heifer's inside safe, but she been staring at the body, so she traumatized. Girl, you wasted your whole life in Bodega Bay waiting for some dick that you never got. So they go home after they sneak past some crows and board up every window and keep a fire going in the chimney because they like the birds ain't getting up and through tonight. Child, the mama having a freak out at the house, she start yelling at him, "Oh, if your father was here!" "Well, your husband's dead and we don't know what we gonna do about the birds, so calm down." So the little heifer throw up and we just sitting around waiting, and sure enough, the birds storm the house, but they can't get in. Girl, these birds are pecking through the wood, they pecking through the front door, they getting in that house. Tippy Hedren just rolling around the couch like, "Oh my God, the sound." So after a whole bunch of pecking, they don't really get in and they finally move on. So later that night, Melanie hears some fluttering and she goes to check it out. Now, heifer, you know it ain't the lovebird, so why you gonna walk upstairs? So this heifer gets what she wanted. She goes upstairs and finds a whole room full of crows. These fools done come in through the roof. She can't open the door because she keep putting all her weight against it. She about to pass out. So Mitch gotta save her again from the bedroom with the crows, and we get her out. So they realize Melanie needs to get to a hospital, so he said, "Look, we gonna have to try for Sissy Frisco." The mama's scared, but the mama's scared of everything. So Mitch go outside, and honey, ain't nothing but birds as far as the eye can see as the moonlight shines through the clouds. So he's finally able to get to her radio in her car, and he hears that, oh, people have been hearing about these attacks, and they're as far south as Santa Rosa. They don't know if they're going to send in the army or not, but most of the people have left town, and it's been roadblocked off. So they're able to creep through the birds, and everybody gets in Melody's convertible. I think a hardtop would be better, but hey, do what you can. Not everybody can fit in their truck. And they drive off into the sunset, and that was it. Well, that was a cute little Hitchcock movie. All right, well, I'm going to see you soon for something.